We touched on it a little bit earlier today, but obviously there's so much excitement surrounding this speech, and there's a big hope that the excitement is going to transfer Hillary Clinton into the White House. Live Nation released a statement saying, in part, it is, quote, actively working with authorities and structural engineers to determine the cause of the collapse. The name Parliament makes sense for this TSG initiative, right? Well, did you know that Parliament actually also refers to a group of owls? And that's exactly what TSG President Aaron Cohen wants people to know. He's talking about a message of unification. This heat here is dangerous, and folks in Wilmington know it. They've been trying to stay cool all day, swimming here in Price's pool. But some we talked to say this severe weather is not going to keep them down. Political fests will be held at places all throughout the city of Philadelphia, like the National Constitution Center, even right here behind me at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. And for one flat ticket price, you can get to go to all 7 locations. Hillary Clinton's message to union members was simple: I will stand with you. While a drop in cigarette sales might be hurting local businesses, education is getting a much-needed boost. Reporting live now at Carlisle and Oxford Streets for Temple Update, I'm Taggart Houck. President Trump's travel ban hit closer to home for one of our fellow Temple Owls. I spoke with Joseph Asali, whose family was sent away just hours after arriving in the U.S. So you want to cover it? Joseph Asali is a junior studying biology, but today his mind is on his family.
I felt so isolated. I felt so helpless.
Last weekend, 6 of his uncles, aunts, and cousins, all Syrian Christians, flew out of Qatar to Philadelphia International Airport, hoping to start fresh in America. But before his dad left to pick them up, he answered a call from the airport.
They told him, don't bother coming to the airport. We're going to send your family back to Syria.
After 14 years, thousands of dollars getting their green cards and travel visas, and an 18-hour flight to the States, Asali's family was detained and quickly sent back. Their visas canceled when they returned to Qatar.
It hurts to know how afraid and alone they probably felt in those moments.
It came from the ink of President Trump's pen, his immigration ban calling for immigrants and refugees from 7 countries to be banned for 90 days, signed while the Asalis were still in the air. While most families with proper paperwork gained access that day, they did not.
You know, they had sold all their possessions before they left. They were ready to start a new life in America, and being told at the door, you're no longer welcome here. Go back to devastation and poverty and war and hunger. It's very sad. I worry for them all the time. Back
in Philly, mass support as thousands protested the ban Sunday, including Asali. Mayor Kenny expressing his support.
This cold and callous nature of this administration's approach to this is just really disappointing as an American.
Are you going to rest until you can get your family back into the United States?
Absolutely not.
The Asalis have filed a lawsuit in federal court against President Trump. The lawsuit asks that the Asalis' visas be reinstated. The family is also requesting that the government pay for their reentry into the U.S.
Church guys.
Excitement today as fans waited outside McGonigal Hall for their chance to see history.
She broke the ceiling. There is no limit to what they can achieve as women in the United States.
My idol, she's incredible. She has pushed so far for women, and she's such an inspiration for girls my age, and she never gives up.
After hours in the sun, they found their way to cooler ground. The energy, electric, with chants and appearances by former Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell, Congressman Bob Brady, and Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney.
This was an historic week for our nation and our great city. Philadelphia, we did real good this week.
After speakers kicked off the rally, supporters were left to wait more than an hour, some sitting down. But then finally, everyone jumped on their feet once the presidential nominee, along with her running mate, Tim Kaine, emerged with their spouses.
Every time we knock down a barrier in America, it liberates everyone in America.
Her message, positive.
There is nothing wrong with America that can't be cured by what's right with America.
While Clinton talked excitement on the campaign trail, she said on this very stage right here behind me that her main goal is to inspire kids to follow their dreams.
I knew that every parent in this country could look at their son or their daughter and now say the very same thing. You too could be President of the United States.
For now, the nominees will take their campaign to the road, making stops in Pennsylvania and Ohio this weekend, but it's a long road ahead, their eyes remaining set on the White House. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Taggart Houck.
Philadelphia's cigarette tax is raising millions of dollars for schools, but smokers and businesses are the ones feeling the impact. Update's Taggart Houck is in the newsroom. Taggart, what are people saying about the tax 1 year later?
Becca, when City Council introduced the tax, some smokers on campus began to worry about what it would mean for them. It started as an effort to help the schools, but the tax's effects are being felt throughout the city. For smokers around the city, doing this has gotten much more expensive. The city passed a bill in October 2014 adding $2.50 to the cost of a pack of cigarettes. But the tax has convinced many students to go outside city limits to save on cigarettes.
Obviously, you can do just one trip and buy a carton or 2 or 3 and come back for the whole month.
And businesses tell us they have felt the impact.
It's affecting more than 50% on cigarettes, and whole business also is getting down lower. It's very painful.
While a drop in cigarette sales might be hurting local businesses, education is getting a much-needed boost. Last year alone, the tax raised more than $50 million for schools and is projected to raise $58 million this year. But Carver High School Principal Ted Domers says more needs to be done.
We can't provide kids the attention that they need. So there's just when resources become thin like this, then there's only so much time in the day and there's only so much space.
City Councilman David O., who sponsored the tax, is now telling Temple Update it is, quote, successful to the extent it used money it needed to keep schools afloat for a while. But he says it's something putting out the fire of lack of funding, not stopping it. Even the Philadelphia School District says taxing cigarettes is not what's important.
It's not really a question of what kind of tax, but rather having sustainable recurring revenues that the district can depend on.
Back around campus, Pant knows the tax benefits schools, but is concerned for his store.
Because of the cigarettes, whole business is down also. And we went to the city hall also, but they didn't listen nothing.
Despite uncertainty from Pant, the tax will remain in place at least until 2019. Students I spoke with say they try to avoid buying cigarettes in Philadelphia, but they don't mind the tax. To some, it feels good to give to the schools, while to others, it's just one more incentive to quit. Phil and Becca, back to you.